Welcome to EP Daily. Today on the show, we get medieval on your ass with Shovel Knight and Dragon Age Inquisition.
Plus, we hit the stage with a new look at Guitar Hero Live.
And then we have more music gaming with Rock Band 4. Also coming up, we dive into Disney Infinity 3.0 for our full review. Steve and Raju bomb their way through some aerial combat and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EB Games. I'm your host, Victor Lucas, bringing you the latest and everything cool every single day. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you, and so is the rundown. Shovel Knight fans have plenty of cool new loot to dig up. Yacht Club Games and Nintendo are joining forces to create a Shovel Knight amiibo figure for the Wii U and 3DS versions of the game. It will unlock new challenge stages and gear in both versions, and on the Wii U, it will unlock a new co-op mode, allowing you to play the game with your friends for the first time. Only one of you will need to own the amiibo to play together. The development team also promises that the Shovel Knight amiibo will unlock content in other Nintendo games, which means that other games like Super Smash Bros. Or Mario Kart might be getting some shoveled justice in the near future. The amiibo launches soon. Other platforms are getting something new as well. The game's DLC expansion, Shovel Knight Plague of Shadows, will hit all platforms soon. And Shovel Knight isn't the only medieval-flavored fantasy that's getting a DLC expansion. BioWare has unveiled Trespasser, the final story add-on for Dragon Age Inquisition. It's an epilogue that takes place 2 years after the main game and will see your team reunite to stop a new threat. Since this is the final story DLC, expect things to come to an epic conclusion. Trespasser will trespass onto the PC, PS4, and Xbox One on September 8th. Like the game's previous DLC, it will not be available for the PS3 or 360. Some great stuff to talk about today in the rundown. Here's my pal Marissa Roberto to discuss that with me.
Hiya.
Shovel Knight is getting all kinds of love. This was one of my favorite games from last year. I think for the first half of 2014,
it's a really good game.
Best game.
And these guys are really cool too. I got to talk to them
Yacht Club?
at the PlayStation Experience last year. I'm just so happy for them, and I love that they're teaming up with Nintendo to make. Are you kidding me? Make their own little amiibo.
Such
I'm gonna
a
love
great
this
surprise.
little thing.
Yeah, I think that fans of the franchise, well, it's now a franchise. Shovel Knight is now a franchise. Have been clamoring for something like this, and at the Nindy event that Nintendo just held us before PAX, that's where they announced it. So it's not only a great, seal of approval on this incredible game, but it's also Nintendo saying that we're going to work with indie developers in some interesting new ways.
Yeah.
And the idea that Shovel Knight as a character might appear in other types of games is so fantastic.
Are you kidding me? If they come out with a new Animal Crossing and I can put him a little Shovel Knight dude in the town and have him like protect my home or something, or build his own home or castle, his own castle.
Well, and that's kind of the crazy world that we're in right now, is that this is an 8-bit kind of redo type retro game, but he has become such a seminal, incredible, timeless character, and now he's going to grow. This free DLC that they're giving out to everybody, the fact that there's going to be an exclusive co-op mode for the Wii U version of the game. Very cool stuff. And another piece of DLC that probably won't be free, but if BioWare's reputation is anything to go by, it will be worth the dough, is the Trespasser DLC for Dragon Age Inquisition. I haven't played Dragon Age in a long time.
Neither have I.
Yeah, I'm excited to jump back in and give this a shot, though. I want to get some more Dragon Age into me.
Well, we loved Dragon Age.
Yeah.
We played a lot of Dragon Age.
It was our game of the year last year.
It was.
Yeah.
We absolutely loved it. So the fact that I have an excuse now to go back in, and I do love that about the DLC. Like, it gives us a reason to sit with it a little while longer. Sometimes I wish that we didn't have all the games to play that we do, because we get taken away from these things.
Especially tough to have DLC come out now, just as, Metal Gear is coming out and Mad Max is there.
I'm sorry, but I also have Disney Infinity 3.0.
And Disney Infinity and Rock Band soon and the Lego Dimension. There's a whole bunch of great stuff coming.
For sure. Completely different games, of course, but I love a good reason to jump back into a game like that.
All right, well, we have to move on now. We've got music games back in the news. Guitar Hero Live is coming very soon, and here's Marissa with more.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Guitar Hero is coming back with Guitar Hero Live. So obviously a lot of things needed to be changed, right, to bring us a fresh and new experience. So John, tell me all about it.
Yeah, well, we knew we wouldn't bring the game back until we'd made enough of a leap forwards over the previous generation of games to really justify the reintroduction of Guitar Hero. And we've done that with 3 main new components. The first is our new guitar controller. So we have a new 6-button configuration of buttons on the neck of the guitar. So now, rather than moving your hand just up and down the neck of the guitar, you're starting to make different chord shapes. So we have a row of 3 buttons along the bottom and 3 buttons along the top. So when I'm a simple player and I'm just getting started as a beginner, I'm just playing the 3 basic buttons. But then as I start to get better and I move up to regular or more complex difficulty levels, I start to make bar chords and split chords, and my hand starts to move around on the neck of the controller a little bit more similarly to how a real guitarist plays. And that's what we were trying to do, was get you just that step closer to the movements and playstyle of a real guitarist. The second major piece is GH Live. Well, we've completely reinvented the visual presentation for GH Live. What we've done is turn the camera around. So in the previous generation of games, the camera was down in amongst the audience, looking up at the CG characters up on stage. This time we've turned it around and you're looking from a first-person perspective at your real bandmates alongside you on stage and out at a real festival crowd. And we've actually gone and cast real musicians and real actors to be your bandmates alongside you on stage. So you're actually getting a feedback and a visceral connection to real people, and you can look out into the festival crowd in front of you and they're singing the lyrics of the chorus of the song back to you and cheering you on if you're doing well. Or if you're doing badly, then your bandmates are looking at you saying, hey, what is this? Come on, raise your game. This is no good. The festival crowd are crossing their arms and booing and jeering. And they'll even start throwing things at you if you're really playing very badly. And we thought all of these different things sort of give you that connection to really put you in that rock star experience. And then the third major piece is GHTV, which is the first 24/7 playable music video network. And the style of presentation we're going for there is that of a TV channel. So when I press the GHTV button on my controller and I jump in, I join a channel and I'm playing whichever music video happens to be playing on that channel at any particular time. I don't know exactly which song is going to come up next, but what we've done is themed shows. So there'll be a half-hour or rock show and then maybe an hour-long metal show. So I have an idea of the genre of music, and the hope is that players will discover new music that they haven't come across before by playing in this way.
Holy smokes, there's a lot of information coming at me, but I need to go back to the first thing, because you changed the controller here. You can change the way you're playing the game. So I need to tell you that I never actually made it past medium. So I'm wondering if I will ever actually make it past medium with this new control style.
Well, you're not alone. There were many players that didn't actually progress beyond medium, because when you were just using your 3 fingers in static position, you were quite comfortable. When you needed to start to move your hand down the neck of the guitar, it felt uncomfortable. So now you keep your hand in a fixed position, but rather than just playing a string of notes, you actually start to move your hand up. So you're playing on the top row, and then you're holding both the top and bottom row down simultaneously, and then you're starting to make different split chord shapes. It's really fun, and once you start to learn the patterns and rhythms within the song, you'd feel your hand dancing around the neck of the guitar in a way similar to a real guitarist.
They wanna get mine.
Nice job, Amika. The music battle is raging on. We've got an interview with Rock Band 4 later on in the show. Guitar Hero Live comes out October 20th.
Yeah, well, the Toys to Life battle is also on. And we've got a review of Disney Infinity 3.0 after this.
EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by Gameloft, makers of Asphalt 8 Airborne, which you can play on your Android or iOS device for free right now. Not too long ago, the company called Firebase made an indie game called Arcade Craft, where you could build your own arcades. Cool idea, cool design. Well, I'm playing a game that they've just released. It's called Starbridge on the iOS platform, and it is free to play. You are buying your ships, so you can spend some money for cooler ships with cooler abilities. But if you have ever played or enjoyed a classic space shooter like Zaxxon, you're going to be right at home. And the whole time I'm playing this thing, I'm like, this game would be perfect in one of the arcade machines inside of Arcade Craft, so hopefully they're working on something like that. But until then, I'll be happily playing Starbridge. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
Thank you, Victor Lucas. Another terrific pocket, my friend.
Guess what, Mr. Jones?
What's that?
I've been playing with a lot of toys.
Oh, you do love your toys, Marissa Roberto.
I do. I didn't think that I would love my toys as much as Victor Lucas loves his toys, but let us find out in this review of Disney Infinity 3.0.
Looks like we have visitors. Let's hope they come in peace.
Disney is heck bent, I'm keeping it PG,
very nice.
G, on getting us to drop every other video game we have ever, because everything can be done in one. I'm talking about Disney Infinity 3.0. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's not
There's
just
a lot of games.
It's not just a game platform. It's like a lifestyle. It's like the new job that you have in your life to go and explore all of the stuff that they've added to this game.
Yes.
It keeps getting bigger and bigger, which is kind of what you'd expect after the third iteration on this thing, with all the other packs that they've released.
Well, yeah, because Disney now owns Marvel and Star Wars.
They got this down, I think. This is definitely the strongest evolution of just jumping you into a toy box and just experiencing all of the different possibilities that name implies, because you can be building buildings, you can be visiting heroes or galactic heroes, which is what the Star Wars ones are called.
Visit Flynn's arcade and just play a bunch of stuff with people online. Like, there's just so many things for you to do here. But what it does brilliantly in this 3.0 version is drops you into something, and it realizes that, you know what, there's a lot to do here, so I'm going to just unveil things slowly to you when you're ready to learn. And that's what I loved about this one, because I felt like with the other versions of this, especially 2.0, I was quite disappointed with. I just felt like there was too much to do, and I couldn't wrap my mind around any of it.
And they buried everything in menus before, and in this one, you're really exposed to everything right out of the gate. You can run around an open world and talk to different characters, and they will, give you mysteries and secrets, and send you on pursuits and adventures, and you can taste a little bit of everything. And then, but I was running around looking for, how do I play the Star Wars game?
Oh, yeah.
And then I kind of realized, you have to go into the menu to quit out and then start the Star Wars game as a separate.
Yes, if you start it with that already on there, then yes, you have to actually go into the menu to discover it, which is great. But I don't like that I keep having to make sure that I saved what I was doing in that hub that I was in, because I'm so terrified of losing all my progress.
Well, and they're trying different things, like I'm working with Sumo to create a racing experience. Now, we got the Twilight of the Republic and the starter pack for Disney Infinity 3.0. We will continue to review some of the other packs and gameplay packs. I can't wait to play Rise of the Empire.
How cool is it that we're jumping in, we get to play as
Clone
Anakin
Wars too,
and Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So we get to play as these characters, and we're jumping in with the Clone Wars characters at first, because that's what comes with the Star Wars starter pack. And I love playing as Ahsoka. I love that we have this female Jedi that's kicking so much butt.
Yoda, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, and Anakin all together in the cut sequences. And they reinterpret stuff that we've seen before, but the cut sequences are beautiful. They've done a fantastic job with the storytelling in this game.
They really are, and I do feel like we're going on with this review, and I feel badly about it, but there's so much more to talk about.
If you have any proclivity or fascination with Star Wars or Marvel or any of the Disney properties, you're going to have an amazing time with this.
It's a lot of fun.
What are you going to give Disney Infinity 3.0?
I wanted to hate, but I just can't. It's getting a 9.
9.5 for me. This is incredible.
Oh man, I love Ahsoka so much. She's all like this, and she does this bullet time move, and she's awesome. She's Padawan turned Jedi. I mean, it's pretty sweet.
Well, listen, that's what happens when you use the people who made Devil May Cry. That's the result. And listen, up next, Jose travels into the past to bring us the future. It's Rock Band 4 after this. Welcome back to EP Daily. Victor Lucas on a daily basis talks about toys and politics and Crimson Skies. He's always looking for a game that sort of takes a page from the Crimson Skies playbook. Well, Steve and Raju have found one. It's called Bomb, Who Let the Dog Fight? Here's the review.
One of those games that everybody is waiting for, like the spiritual successor to, is Crimson Skies.
Oh man, Crimson Skies, beloved Xbox game, Crimson Skies.
Today we're looking at a game called Bomb, Who Let the Dog Fight Out. This is a PC game on Steam. This is a flight sim-ish thing.
Dogfighting-ish.
It's a dogfighting game that honestly has a lot of problems and unfortunately is not that spiritual successor that we're waiting for.
In a world full of airplane fighting games, why would you do this?
This game really is all about dogfighting. And actually, it tries to be somewhat realistic about that, particularly with like old-timey planes and that, planes are zipping by you. It is very hard. And one thing I think that it actually does succeed is this uses like what's become the cliche now, and that's sort of comic book characters and sort of relaying the story. I actually think Maurice and Tak, they do a good job with making them likable, and there's some pretty funny stuff. Oh my God, though, the flying is so difficult, and it's a pain and annoying, and the dogfighting is just
We talk about this being like looking like a spiritual successor to Crimson Skies. The thing about Crimson Skies though is it was very arcadey. You felt like you were a master of the skies at this point. This takes a weird approach. It's like an old-timey kind of Crimson Skies-ish universe, but with semi-realistic dogfighting. So the dogfighting itself is just so hard to get in a pattern where you're behind somebody, or where you're not just like jousting. These are the most tedious dogfights I've played in any kind of airplane game.
Well, I actually think the weird thing about this game is that it doesn't know whether it wants to be a full-on flight sim or something really arcadey. It's funny, when I killed guys, it'd be like, oh my God, it finally worked, right? Like, I was just like, oh, I was actually successful. Escape, next mission, please. I want to get on to the rest.
There's some elements of cool world building, and the character's kind of fun. The dogfighting, though, it's so uniformly tedious and difficult that I'm not sure who this is really appealing to.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I think that if you really wanted a flight sim, you probably have a rig and some other crazy games, or like Microsoft Flight, for instance, right?
I'm sort of like Crimson Skies, man. Where the hell is the Crimson Skies sequel? I want to be back in the world of Zeppelins and like aces, flying these crazy missions on my stun plane. I don't want to be spending like literally 15 minutes flying circles around trying to shoot down 6 planes by just sort of spraying in front of them and hoping I hit them. It's not my idea of fun.
As soon as you get in this game, fix the controls. Yeah, the controls are all messed for everything. Like my Xbox controller, I started using the mouse. I couldn't even figure out how to get going, so I went with the keypad. So, that's the one piece of advice if you really want to play this game. But honestly, I think there are some other better options out there. Steve, Bomb, who let the dog fight? What are you gonna give it?
This is no flying ace, man. I gotta give it a 5 out of 10.
Right there with you, 5.
Thanks, boys. I wonder after watching that review if they owed the Crimson Skies guys a little bit of royalty money there. Now it's time for Jose to take the stage. He's got a closer look at Rock Band 4.
The time has finally come to start a band and rock the world. We are talking about Rock Band 4. Yes, I'm so glad you guys listened to all those letters that I sent and now are delivering Rock Band 4. What are you bringing that's new with Rock Band 4?
Well, we've been working on this for a long time, and the thing that we're most excited about is our freestyle guitar solos, where we actually put you in the driver's seat and let you play your own solo over our great catalog of music. This is the first time we've seen non-beat match gameplay in any Rock Band game, and it's, for us, a pretty big step forward. Harmonix is a company that has really strived to really put the player in that mindset, that rock and roll fantasy, and this is something that has been missing, is the idea that you can play these games and you can put your own thumbprint on the songs and really sort of express yourself both musically. There's a lot of choice in terms of how you play and what you choose to play, what notes you choose to play, and then physically, the idea that you don't have to be glued to the screen to play this thing. You can just sort of rock out and kind of throw your metal kicks in. It's something that we've worked really hard at, and we think it's really new and pretty special, actually.
Watch your tongue or have it cut from your head. Save your life by keeping whispers unsaid.
And how unique are those freestyles going to be? Is it just going to be something where I'm simply tapping the buttons and I'm just like, wow, doing all this crazy stuff, or are you guys going to make it somewhat of a challenge?
Well, the challenge really is in kind of how you score, and one of the things that we're building into this is sort of accessibility on the one hand and depth on the other hand. So whether you're looking for some musicality or you're looking for score, this is gameplay. This is a video game that is really about a fantasy, but there's some skill involved in terms of how you actually compete against other people and how well you understand the system and how well you sort of play the game, and that's something that we put a lot of effort into building into this.
Now, is this going to be an implementation only involved on the guitar or bass side? Or are you guys going to be tweaking anything with the drums or the mics as well?
Actually, we have a lot of features for the drummer, for the vocalist. I think vocals in Rock Band has been this thing where you watch singers and they're singing very quietly, trying to match this little arrow up to a little note tube, and that's not rock and roll. So, one of the things that we have in Rock Band 4 is kind of a similar sort of approach to guitar solos, where, the singer can sing in the key of the song. They don't have to sing just what's prescribed, and they actually get a bonus, you know? We want that singer to really step into that role of front person and sing loudly with charisma and energy and be rewarded for that.
Little notice, all my friends out there. Yes, we are going to have a Rock Band party very soon. Get your instruments ready. Up next, we got the Twitter question of the day after this.
If you want more EP, go to our website, epn.tv, for bonus content and full episodes. We're also on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to EP Daily. It is now time for the best part of today's show. It is the Twitter question of the day. This one comes from James Walker. He's at Joms Walker. Hey
Hello,
there,
Joms.
Joms. He says, hey guys, just wondering why the snub for Straight Outta Compton. That's an excellent question.
There was no snub. No snub.
There was no snubbing.
No, when it came out, I think there were other movies. I think Man from U.N.C.L.E. came out that same week, and we might have had a TV show run that week. And I felt like the show had enough kind of movie TV type content. And Straight Outta Compton doesn't really feel like our genre of stuff.
No.
We talk about superheroes and spies and sci-fi and horror and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that being said, we all want to see this movie. You tried to see this movie.
I did. I tried to see this movie just yesterday, in fact, but it was sold out
It's
still.
a phenomenon.
The time that I went to go, it was sold out. I went to American Ultra instead. But yeah, it was just, I do still want to see this thing.
Yeah, well,
of course.
we'll review it when it gets closer to the Blu-ray and home video release.
Of course, yeah.
Does that sound good? All right. Remember, you can ask us any questions that you would like, as well as get caught up on full episodes at epn.tv.
We have more coming for you in the next episode of EP Daily, including a look at Project Crosszone.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox.
Is it difficult to make sure that each of these characters are done right? Because there are a lot of fans out there who want to make sure that their character is the best character.
まず一番のポイントはやはりこう登場する
The important point is that those characters, all the characters in the game, have a lot of fans and they are beloved. In order to have those fans understand that this is my character, we need to respect all the titles, take each of the characters really, really seriously. Otherwise, the fans will think those characters are not the true ones compared to the original.